Hello and welcome to another video, this time going through the Maths Mock Paper 3, questions 1 to 11. So here we go. Now, you've almost certainly got this one right because you literally just have to key it into your calculator. Word of advice though, it's worth 2 marks, so it might be wise to include a line of working. Type in 6 sine 72 on your calculator and, put 5.706, minus, and then put 4 cos 39 into your calculator, and I'm not sure what this equals. So I'm going to quickly do it. 4 cos 39. Sorry, I'm using an online calculator, which is a bit cumbersome. I should probably look at the mark scheme. That's like 3.11. And then we're going to square root that. It is, of course, easy to do this. It really is. It's not a difficult question by any stretch of the imagination. It is literally, can you use a calculator? I'm just seeing, have I actually caught? Oh yeah, I never got the. I'm actually going to have to now square root this. This is so slow because I'm on an online calculator. So I'm just going to type in all of that. So that is the square root of 6 sine 72. I'm sure you've got this one right though, so feel free to go ahead in the video if that's the case. Minus 4 cos 39. Make sure your calculator's in degrees. That's the classic blunder here. It is totally possible to get this wrong. And we've got to give the answer to 3 sig fig. So that's 1.61 to 3 sig fig. Make sure you round it correctly because on the calculator, and that's another thing you could do for the line of working. I think it goes like that. So to 3 sig fig, we need 3 figures, but the 1 here means we round it down. So yeah, it's 1.61. Okay, next one. ABC and PQ are similar triangles. AB to PQ is 2 to 5. Okay, so let's consider what we're being told there. We're basically being told that we need to times this by 2.5 because to get from AB to PQ, you need to times that by 2.5. Yeah, 2 times 2.5 is 5. You can figure that out on a calculator by doing 5 divided by 2. So 9 times 2.5, well, 9 times 2 0.5. I actually, because like I said, I haven't got a calculator here, I'm making that 18 plus 4.5, so that's 22.5. Yeah. And so that's your answer. Show some working though. So show some evidence that you know what you're doing. Work out the length of BC. Okay, so here we're going backwards here. So we've got to divide by 2.5. Well, 18 divided by 2.5. The way I see it, that's the same as 36 divided by 5. You'll do this on a calculator, of course, and that's 7.2 centimeters. And we're done on that one. So that will be 7.2. Right on the answer line as well. Okay, next one. What we got next? The table shows information about the distances travelled by 50 new cars before a tyre was changed. Okay, I noticed how many of my class did not like this question. You've got to be kind of careful to make sure you've got this, absolutely all the figures all correct. Yeah, make sure you've got the figures absolutely correct. Well, we need the midpoints, yeah? Have another column for the midpoints, yeah? Whenever you've got group data like this, you need midpoints, and then you do midpoint times frequency. This is the F column, this is going to be the X column. Okay, what's the middle of 5,000 and 25,000? 15,000. Yeah, not 1,500, 15,000. What's the middle of, what have we got next? Let's have a look. 25,000 and 45,000, that's going to be 35,000. And the middle of 45 and 65 is going to be 55,000. Yeah, I had a lot of my class mess this up, and it's a mark. It's an easy mark, so don't throw it away. So now we need an FX column where we're going to just times these all together. Yeah, and if you work out this FX column, you're going to see that you get. Okay, right. By the way, they would have given you 1 mark for finding 3 products within each of these intervals. In other words, taking any midpoint, any point, as long as it's between that one and timesing it by that. If you find 3 of those, then they would have given you some of the marks. Now, what obviously you should be doing is 9 times 15,000, which is, what is that, 135,000? And then 25 times 35,000, so that's 875,000. And then 55,000 times by 16, and that comes to 880,000. Add those up carefully, not dropping the zeros, and you're going to get 1,890,000 divided by the total frequency, which is 50. You can see that if you read up here carefully. And so the final answer should be 37,800 kilometers. Okay, next one. Calculate volume of a cylinder. Well, volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. And yes, you need to memorize that. That radius is 5, and so that volume is going to be pi times 5 squared times 12. Yeah, they didn't want this exact or anything like that. Always be careful. But that's all we really need. And now that goes to 942 centimeters cubed. Let me work out exactly what it is. It's not obvious in the mark scheme. I've just hunted down the mark scheme. Let me just do this on a Desmos calculator, because I like you to get, they'll have accepted any answer from 942 to 943. I think because of people who don't have a pi button on their calculator, because not everybody does. 25 times 12. And we get 942.47, and so to free sig fig, it's very close. Basically, it's going to be 942 centimeters cubed for everybody, because you've pretty much all got pi buttons on your calculator. Okay, with these ones, it's worth dividing your page in half, so we can talk about Luke and Alexa. Yeah, you're helping the examiner out here. Now you might think, why would I want to help the examiner? Because you want to win favour with the examiner. Yeah, you want them on your side. They're far more likely to give you however many marks this question was worth, I can't remember, but they're far more likely to give you it if you're actually, like, on their side. Okay, Luke's 4,000 savings account compound interest. So you've got to do 4,000 times by 1 point. Now, be careful, 0, 1, that would be 1%. That would increase it by 1%. This would increase it by 1.8%, but it's for 3 years, yeah? So we're just going to do that on a calculator. And that's going to come to, let's have a quick look. What does that come to? That comes to, I think, 4219.91. Cool. For Alexa, she's doing simple interest. Simple interest is really the silly way of doing it, I would say. So we're going to find, well, if you're doing simple interest, you can just 1.8% each year means you're going to do 3 times 1.8. So to find 1.8%, yeah, let's just say 3 times 1.8%. Well, 3 times 18 is 54, so that's 5.4%. So now I've just got to increase this by 5.4%, yeah? And that comes to 4,070. Now, what is that one? Yeah, I think that's going to come to 4,216. Exactly, yeah. Okay, so what is the, who got more? How much more? Yeah, how much more? Luke got more interest. Looks like Luke is getting more interest. Oh, we're only interested in the interest, actually. No pun intended. But the interest there is that, and the interest over here is this. But who's got more, and by how much more? £3. By the look at that, 91 more. Yeah, because that is £3.91 more than that one. Okay, make sure you know the difference between simple and compound. It's one of those things you should learn. The height h meters of a tall building is 184 meters correct to the nearest meter. Complete the following statement to show a range of possible values. Well, if it's to the nearest meter, it could have been 183 point, oh, I can't even write, 183.5 on the lower bound, and it could have been 184.5 on the upper bound. Notice it's a strict inequality, so it describes perfectly the way the rounding works here, and most people getting that right. That's fine, that one. Okay, work out the perimeter of the rectangle. So we're going to need some SOHCAHTOA trig to find BC here. So we're looking at tan. If you don't know, sometimes I call this a 2-tick method. You can write out SO, CA, and TOA. We've got the alongside, and we've got the opposite. And so that tells me, as TOA's got 2 ticks, that we're using tan. So tan 35 equals opposite over adjacent. So tan 35 equals x over 12, and so x is going to be 12 tan 35, and you can work that on a calculator, and it comes to 40.8, I believe. And there we go. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so I almost got this wrong. It doesn't come to 40.8. That's just, I was just looking at the final answer. That comes to 8.4. Okay, we need to work out the perimeter, and so we need to do 2 times 8.4 plus 2 times 12, and that's going to give us 24 plus 16.8, and so that is 40.8 centimeters. Cool. Okay, number 8. complete these tables of values. People were pretty good with this because obviously you're allowed a calculator. Minus 3 cubed is minus 27 plus 2, minus 25. Minus 1 cubed is minus 1 plus 2 is 1. 0 cubed plus 2 is 2. 2 cubed is 8 plus 2 is 10. 3 cubed is 27 plus 2 is 29. Okay, so we've filled in the table. That ends up looking like a lovely cubic, and it's going to be difficult for me to graph it nicely because it's just going to look rubbish. Let me see if I can zoom out a bit. Oh yeah, that's nicer. Hang on a second. Okay, so let me have to make sure the table's still in sight. Okay, minus 3, minus 25, minus 2, minus 6, minus 1, 1, 0, 2, 1, 3, I hope I'm getting these right, 210, my sight's not great, 329, they do care about accuracy, yeah, don't think they don't care about accuracy, they do. Then a smooth curve through the points showing a lovely looking cubic. Sorry about the wonkiness at the end there. Use a graph to find the value of x when y is 6. Well, y is 6, so I'm going to go across at 6. And then I'm going to look down. Looks to be about 1.7. Right, let's have a look at what the mark scheme actually allowed. It allowed any answer from 1.5 to 1.7. And so that is acceptable, even on my lousy drawing there. Okay, let's do the next one. Question 9. Okay, right, we've got here is some information about the population and land area of England, Scotland and Wales in 2016. Calculate the total population of England, Scotland and Wales in 2016. So we've just got to basically be able to use our, our calculators once again. We're just going to basically find, now is this a one marker? Yeah, so you just need to, it will be correct answer only this one. If you add those figures together, you're going to get 62,300,000. Or if you prefer in standard form, 6.23 times 10 to the 7. I think your calculator will tell you it like that if you input that. Okay, calculate the average number of people per kilometre squared in England, Scotland and Wales in 2016. Well, this is going to be, if you ever do averages like this, you need total number, total pop, divided by total land area. Yeah, the total pop, oh, you might wonder why it's that way round. Well, look, it's people per kilometre squared. The units tell you the formula. That tells you I'm going to do population divided by land area. Yeah, so I need to do 6.23 times 10 to the 7 because I've already worked that out. For land area, I need to, and as this is worth 3 marks, I need to show a little bit of working here. So put these on the bottom all being added up. 1.3 times 10 to the 5 plus 8 times 10 to the 4 plus 2.1 times 10 to the 4. And that comes to 270 people, and I've accepted any answer in the range 269 to 270 there. Okay, there are n adults in a club. 54 of the adults are over 30 years of age. So 54 out of n are over 30. Now 20 of the adults in the club are chosen at random. 8 of these 20 adults are over 30. So you can assume, this is kind of like the capture, they call them capture recapture questions. That those 8 20ths should be in the same fraction as 54 over n. So we could write the equation out like that. Okay, then we can just do 54 times 20 equals 8 times n. And therefore we've got 1,000 and, what is that? 54 times 10 is 540, so that's 1,080 equals 8n. And therefore you're going to have n equals 135, I think. Is that right? That does seem right to me, yeah. Cool. Yeah, because you're going to have 800 plus 240 and then plus 40. Yeah, cool. Okay, question 11. Now, I don't know if this is actually rendered correctly on my computer. I think the question was this. 8 minus 3x over 4 equals 8 minus 2x. I hope so. I'll be able to tell when I've got the answer. Okay, 8 minus 3x equals times 4 over 32 minus 8x. Now we're going to add the 8x onto that 3x, minus 3x giving us 5x. Take away the 8 from the 32, giving us 24. So x is 24 over 5, and that is 4.8. Okay, hope this was useful. Keep up the hard work, and good luck in your GCSE. Bye-bye.